1965, Dad got orders to Vietnam. And I remember that because it was, she was quite upset. And I remember talking to her and saying, "Mom, what's wrong?" And she just was crying. She was very upset about Dad having to go to Vietnam. And you know, I think I was like 6 or 7. I obviously I don't remember everything verbatim, but I do remember asking Dad if he could die. And he told me point blank, yes. And I was pretty upset myself. But he came back 12 months later. He had moved his family to Massachusetts while he was there so we could be near family. And he did his tour in Vietnam and came home with orders in hand to go to Holland Air Force Base, New Mexico, which is near Alamogordo. And that's the home of the first nuclear test. It was in Alamogordo, New Mexico. We did 2 years there as well. Dad ran an electrical shop there. And Richard and I terrorized the deserts of Holland Air Force Base as a couple of young boys. My father, I remember him telling me, he used to climb poles to do electrical work at the top of poles with big spikes, and you climb up the pole. And he came home one day and he was kind of sad, but I think he was also irritated. But an American bald eagle, had got caught in the wires there and put out electricity, and Dad had to respond to go restore electricity. But the sad part was that about the eagle, which he said it fried it pretty good. And I remember that as well, like it was yesterday. Remember that, Dad? Mom had great suntans in New Mexico. A lot of good sun in New Mexico. I remember that. Whenever Dad came home, he was coming home to a hot, tan woman. Dad also went to Korea for 6 months. He was in Korea for 6 months. 2 months prior to that, he went to get training to go to Korea. So he was gone 8 months. So let's do the math. In that short time of 20 years, Mom and Dad were separated for 3 years and 2 months. Part of being in the military and taking those remote tours. A testament to their love. All that time away just made things stronger. Dad returned home from Korea and he said, "We're going to Disney World." Disney hadn't opened yet. Dad retired from the Air Force November 29th after serving for 22 years. Both Mom and Dad served their country for 22 years. He retired. We moved to Orlando, Florida. He got a job at Tri-City Electric. Worked there until Disney started to hire, which happened on September 9th, 1971. They got a job at Walt Disney World. And I remember going to Disney before they opened, and we were standing in line, and Dad kept saying something about guinea pigs. Because we were going to be testing all the rides, and we were guinea pigs. I've got a couple little stories. I got, come on in. You know, having a couple boys in your house, you know, they never get in trouble. They never do anything wrong, right? I'll tell you a little story about Mom and Dad were away. I was in charge of watching my little brother. I was about 15. He had to be about 11, 10 and a half, 11. And I said, "Come on, we're going to go for a ride in Dad's truck." And he says, "You don't have your driver's license. We can't go. I don't want to go." I said, "No, you're coming with me." No, 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 I don't want to go. He kept telling me over and over again, I want to go. Finally coaxed him into the truck. And Dad had taught me to drive the 3-speed on the column shift of the small Chevy pickup that he had. And we got in the truck, we started it up. We were going to be gone 5 minutes and come back. Richard all the time saying, I don't want to be here, I don't want to go, put me out. I don't want to do this. Went up the street, made a right-hand turn, went around 1 block, came back, made a left-hand turn, and I don't know if you're familiar with where they live. Debbie knows. There's a hill there. You're coming down the hill, and from at the top of the hill, I could see Dad on the sidewalk. He had his cowboy hat and cowboy boots on, and Mom was running around. And Richard's going, stop, let me out right now. I don't want to be, I don't have nothing to do with that. Stop, Norman, stop. We pulled into the driveway. Dad was looking at me. I thought, man, I'm dead. I'm so dead. Richard saying, stop, stop, stop. I back up. I parked the truck right where it came from. We got out. And Mom's got the look of, you're dead. Any second now, you're dead. And Richard jumped out of the truck, and he was a blur going back into the house. Mom was looking at me. I tell you, I don't know what was worse. Mom giving me the evil eye, or Dad not saying nothing to me. He just looked at me, turned around, and walked in the house. And Mom says, what were you thinking? And I said, Richard wanted to go for a ride.
That's how it really happened.
Brothers always point the finger the other direction. It wasn't me, it was him. Richard had a green bike, green bicycle with green tires. At the top of the hill, right across from Miss Neal, there she is. There was a house there, and it had 2 big bushes out front, and underneath those bushes were mean dogs. Do you remember them?
Yes.
Yeah. You couldn't walk by without those guys coming out and trying to bite you. We're coming home from school. I'm already at the house. Richard's pushing his bike down the road, and he's crying, just a crying. I said, man, what's wrong? He said, the dogs bit my tires. Green tires. So Mom got pretty upset, and she grabbed a baseball bat. She was going up to talk to those folks. And I'm thinking, oh man, them dogs are going to come out of the bushes. She had the bat. She went between the bushes. They came out, and it was one of these running around trying to stay away from the dogs. And I was thinking, Mom's brave. I go all the way around. I don't go around those dogs over there. Pretty impressive woman. She doesn't take anything from anybody, including a couple of mean dogs. Mom worked 10 years at the S&H Green Stamp Store and 2 years at Dunkin' Donuts. We had a lot of leftover donuts. That's while here in Florida. Mom also spent countless hours hauling my brother and I around for Little League baseball and basketball and boys club activities. So it was, again, what mothers do, running their kids all over the place. Mom did that. I was stationed in Las Vegas, Nevada in 1986 to 1992. And Mom and Dad were supposed to come out and visit. So I'm at the airport, and I'm looking as the people are coming out, and here comes Mom. And she's all smiley and happy and giving me the good look, I'm so happy to be here. And I'm going, where's Dad?
Sorry.
And Disney World told Dad that he had to work because there was a strike. So Dad had to stay home and work. So I was pretty sad not to see Dad after lots of years, but Mom adapted real quick to Las Vegas. We went to the casino on the way home, and we're at a crap table. We're throwing the dice, and Mom's turn comes up. We're placing bets, and she throws the dice, and 7 wins money. Picks up her money, and she's woo-hoo, real happy. I'm sitting there shaking my head, beginner's luck. She rolls some more, and she's winning, and she's just having a good old time. And there's a guy down at the end of the crap table, and he looks over at her and he goes, "Are you married?" And she goes, "No." And I said, "Mom understands. She has already grasped the concept that what's in Vegas stays in Vegas." I said, "Mom," I'm looking at him going,
You're married.
I said, "You are married." He goes, "No," he said, "Are you lucky?" I said, "No, Mom." I said, "Are you married?"
I thought he said, are you lucky?
No, he didn't.
Yes, I thought.
Funny Vegas story. I always like talking about that because it's just as plain as day. No. Okay, Mom and Dad started a company, Rutcho Electric. They did quite a few jobs. Mom did the paperwork. Dad did the electrical work. They were quite the team. Did that on the side. Were able to go and help friends with their electrical problems and charge them. Are you saying you had a disagreement on that?
No, we didn't charge all of them.
Just some of them. Dad liked to do work for free. Mom wasn't real happy about that.
No, I used to tell him, John will do it for you. And John would say, you're telling me I can do everybody's work all the time.
Well, there you go. They made some money doing electrical work. Obviously not as much as they would have liked.